All right, so it looks like Adidas has even bigger plans for Yeezys than everybody originally anticipated, as they've just officially unveiled their Q1 results. So today, we're gonna cover all of the details, including Adidas' huge plans to unload roughly 350 million euros worth of Yeezy releases here in 2024. But of course, first, you guys know, we gotta start with some quick updates. So first, Travis Scott and Nike had everybody stopping what they're doing this morning in order for a chance to enter this lottery. So as far as the Jumpman Jack, stock numbers were somewhere in the ballpark between 15,000 pairs. So as far as your chances of being able to cop a pair of these, I would say based out of all of the people entering this lottery, just in order to get a quick flip on Nike's hottest, latest release, I would say your odds were probably pretty low. So as far as the success of Jordan Brand and Travis Scott's debut model, I would say it was most definitely a success. So this will be the first of many colorways to release. So if you took an L on these today and you're mad and want to voice your frustrations, let us know in the comment section down below. And it looks like we have a huge update to this Nike Bape copyright infringement lawsuit, or I guess we should say a conclusion, as it looks like the two parties have reached a settlement, which happened on Monday. So they're calling it a stipulated dismissal, which pretty much, to sum it up, to make a long story short, Bape will now actually have to discontinue a few of their models, as well as make some modifications to two of their popular best-selling models. So as far as the discontinued models, that would include the Courtsta, which looks like their version of the Nike Dunk Low. They're also going to be discontinuing the Bapesta Mid, which obviously is their take on the Air Force One Mid, and they will also be discontinuing the Bapesta Court High, which looks like is a knockoff version of the Jordan 1. Now, as far as the popular models that they will be modifying, that will include the Skatesta, which it looks like again is a version of the Nike Dunk Low, and then another modification will include probably their most popular model here in the Bapesta Low, which obviously is their take on the Air Force One Low. I remember these joints have been dropping since like the early 2000s. So as far as this whole lawsuit, I would say overall, for Bape, I would actually look at this as like a W, because honestly, the models that they're discontinuing, I really had no clue they were even dropping these. And as the fact that they're still able to sell their Bapesta Low, but just with a modified version, I would say this is a huge W for Bape. Now, we'll have to wait and see, of course, what the modifications will be, but let me know what you guys think about this whole lawsuit and the conclusion down below. And with those quick updates out of the way, let's go ahead and get into these Adidas results. Now, of course, last week we got the preliminary Q1 results, which the big takeaway, the big headline from those results were that Adidas still had unsold Yeezys, in which they plan to actually unload the remainder of that inventory sometime this year. So as far as these official results that we got today, pretty much Adidas is saying that the numbers are much better than anticipated, and they have even bigger plans for these Yeezy releases than originally anticipated. So things started off with their current CEO, Bowen Gilden, saying, "I'm very happy to see that the business in Q1 developed better than we had expected. Sales, gross margin, and operating profit were all better than initially planned." So he's pretty much saying that a lot of these sales growth is driven by their lifestyle business right now. So that would include their Originals footwear, popular models such as the Adidas Samba, Gazelle, Special, and Campus. And they're also saying that they've also slowly introduced classics out the vault, like the Adidas SL72, which is starting to become high in demand, or at least they say. So they're also boasting double-digit growth in their own retail as well as e-commerce. So when referring to their own retail, that would include Adidas flagship stores. So they're saying that sales grew by 11% in just the quarter alone. That's for business sales that were done in their own Adidas flagship stores. And then as far as e-commerce, that would include online sales, which we all know were boosted up tremendously by these Yeezy sales, which were all dropped online during the first quarter via the Adidas Confirmed app. So e-commerce revenue grew 34% in Q1. While the Yeezy sales contributed to this increase, the company's revenues across its own digital platforms also increased at a double-digit rate. It also adjusted for the Yeezy impact. So overall, a lot of good numbers, strong growth in all markets. Unfortunately though, except for North America. So it says revenues in North America declined 4% during that quarter. And I would guess the decline in North America's sales were probably heavily impacted by Ye asking his fans to boycott these Yeezy releases. I feel like if those would have still sold like they would have, we would have saw much better results for sales over here in North America. So let's go ahead and get right into these Adidas Yeezy numbers, which it reads, within this guidance, it is assumed that the remaining Yeezy inventory will be sold on average at cost, resulting in sales of around 200 million euros throughout the remainder of the year. This corresponds to a projected total amount of Yeezy related sales of around 350 million euros in the fiscal year of 2024. Previously, around 250 million euros, of which around 150 million euros were generated in the first quarter. So pretty much to summarize all of that business jargon right there, Adidas sold around 150 million euros worth of Yeezys during this Q1 release, in which they actually still plan to unload roughly around 250 million euros worth of releases throughout the duration of the year, which actually means that Adidas actually projects to sell a lot more pairs than they originally anticipated. And as we just learned yesterday, we have a potential release date for the Yeezy 500 High Desert Sand Tactical, whatever they're calling those, which is tentatively scheduled for June 8th, which actually would align for a Q2 release. So based off the fact that we had Adidas drop Yeezys for the first quarter, we now have a potential release date here in the second quarter. I would imagine, based off the amount of pairs that they still have to unload, we could also potentially see a sale go down in the third quarter, as well as even in the fourth quarter, just to boost up those numbers. So I feel like the big thing here that people are waiting to see is specifically which pairs they plan to drop. We know they still have some unsold inventory from the last Yeezy drop. We know those desert boots or whatever they're called are on the way as well. So it'll be interesting to see if they have some classics coming back, or maybe even some unseen pairs that they've been just holding on to, maybe some factory orders that they just fulfilled recently. Who knows? But let's just see how these sales affect the bottom line for Adidas, which it looks like they are banking on these Yeezy releases to help them generate their bottom line numbers. So it's crazy to think that this partnership ended a couple of years back, and still here in 2024, Adidas is relying on Yeezy sales to boost up these numbers. So we'll have to wait and see which pairs drop, when they drop, and how Adidas plans to release these pairs. Will they drop everything via the Confirmed app? Will they give some pairs to their retail partners? Will we eventually see these pairs go on sale? Who knows? Plus, we'll have to wait and see if Ye responds to everything. It seems like he's been a little bit quiet on this topic as of lately. So with the whole lawsuit and everything that's going on behind the scenes, I'm sure he has a lot to say about these business practices going on right here. So it looks like Adidas Yeezys are back. We got more releases to expect here for the duration of 2024. Now, while I don't have a current poll up right now, I guess I'll probably add something to the community tab, like, are you guys excited for these releases to come back or not, just to kind of gauge the interest, you know, with these Yeezy releases. I feel like if Ye would have never said something before, the anticipation and hype for these drops would have been a lot more higher. But since he did essentially ask fans to boycott these releases previously, I feel like it's kind of put like a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. But on the other hand, you know, a lot of people are ignoring that and really are just fans of the releases and could care less what Ye has to say. We'll see how it all goes down, but this is a huge update, as it looks like Adidas plans to sell a lot more Yeezys than originally anticipated. So let me know what you guys think down below. If you enjoyed today's video, please help out the channel by dropping a thumbs up. Of course, we're gonna wrap things up right here. I'm JA. Stay safe, stay blessed, and be on the lookout for more updates. So I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Love.